Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yeah, every so often it happens that Ryan is right.
100% right. Not even a little bit right.
Tucker Pullman, 2 points last game.
No kidding.
My man!
Hey, neither does me running shirtless, but that turned out very well.
It
so.
did.
Welcome to the PP1 podcast.
Still one of the best intros. Self-made.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Self-made. I mean, how many people can say that? Not a lot. Not a lot. I'm my own crew. I'm my own crew to get things done.
Yeah. An intro doesn't help me because I see Ted just killing it in that intro and being such a hard part of the show.
And
he's temporarily trying to fill these boots here.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like the facial hair, the abundance of Detroit apparel. You've got 2 of Captain America's shields, which I feel like one would have been enough. I mean, you never see him with 2. It's not like he's like flexing. Did you get a good deal?
Well, actually, Ryan, in Avengers Endgame, Captain America, if you recall, fought himself, and each of them had what?
Oh, that would make sense.
That's more of an Endgame fan thing that I've got to. Yeah, no,
it's
doubles makes it great.
You'll ever see.
You got to have a backup. Now, I don't have 3 because that would be ridiculous. But I'll ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question here. What happens? What do I do if something happens to one of my shields?
It's like a Durex thing where you can just buy a box of them. Or?
No, I got another one right there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's good to have a backup. But if I had one shield and something happened to that shield and I have no shields, that's not something I'm comfortable with. It'd be like, losing, I don't know, a draft pick that would be helpful.
Hey, are you? I'm the one that makes the segues, and we're not there yet.
Welcome. All right. Thank you. Thanks.
just telling you what you're gonna get this week. Telling you what it's gonna be like. Welcome as our show title and intro video will show you, as well as the logo on the middle of our screen. Welcome to the PP1 podcast. I don't know if we're gonna call it the PP1 podcast still, or if we're just PP1 podcast. Like if we've elevated our game to a point where the is just implied. So I don't know. We haven't really talked about this. As you can see, I don't have Ted with me this week. Something about open heart surgery on Friday, aortic valve, something like that. So anyways, prep, something like that. So he decided, he's like, hey, Ryan, is it cool if I'm not on the show this week? I thought, well, that really puts me in a bind, man. I guess. I said it was selfish in our little text conversation. So I mean, you weren't my first choice. I did ask RG3, and I know like that's not fair to say. I did ask a former NFL quarterback, mainly because he was on my fantasy team for a season, if he might enjoy talking about a sport he may know nothing about. He's been hot on the Twitters and the TikToks lately, so I thought let's try to rein that in, and he didn't bother to answer. And I thought this is gonna be awkward to ask someone I do know. That is a friend, and Jordan Bowman of Trust the Process, probably the most consistent podcast in the Vancouver market.
Is that a joke? Are you joking?
I mean, you're wearing Detroit stuff, so I have to throw a joke at some point. Obviously, Jordan, glad to have you. This is fun. We didn't get to hook up we were going to do an all-star draft of like terrible Canucks players. We might still like hold that. Maybe that's just something we wait till next year on and really do an extravaganza, if I may. Maybe we'll do that. But you're looking good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
Okay.
I think that idea still plays. That's just maybe why it didn't happen before, is that the Ganza wasn't extravagant enough. So
just extrava.
It was just a standard Ganza. So if it's a extravaganza, now we're talking here. So yeah, like I'd love to do that because man, there have been some turkeys playing for the Canucks over the years,
currently and in the past. So,
and
that's how she goes.
And it was a rough day for Canucks fans. I mean, as I mentioned to you beforehand, like it's not in the fine print or stuff, but I'm in the deal as well. I got sent to Detroit.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm contractually obligated to wear this shit. So
wow.
yeah.
And I mean, that's great. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to feel about this because this is like new territory to me. I mean, Todd Bertuzzi played for the Red Wings. That was a bit of fun for a while. I thought, hey, that's a bit of us over there.
Yeah.
And now, again, it's a bit of us over there for the second time. It's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
It has a different feel to it, so I'm not quite sure how to accept this. I mean, I know you. I see you on the inside. You're still a home team guy.
Of course.
It's a little different. Just hits a little different. Hits a little different. Before we get into like some craziness, I do want to get into the craziness that obviously everybody's been talking about in the Lona. We had a bomb. We had a bomb in Kelowna on Monday, a real one, by Wendy's. By Wendy's. Timeout. Is that too much?
Sorry, the Lona. I just want
Lona.
to make sure I get this straight. The Lona is what we're gonna go with here. Okay.
Yeah. I'm workshopping it.
Okay.
It may catch on. I may get burnt at the stake at this one. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
I'll poll some people around the Sir and see see how we feel about the Lona. So
the Lona. I just figure like if I start something like this, maybe it catches on. Maybe this is something, like we talk about Fetch. They were trying to make Fetch happen in Mean Girls. Because that's a fictional movie. I don't know if you know that. And I'm in real life. Why not give it a try? Like, what's the worst that happens? It just doesn't catch, and we keep going.
Here's the thing, though. I think if we really are honest with ourselves, Fetch did happen.
It did.
But that movie came out in 2004, and here it is, almost 20 years later. I am sorry to date every single one of us, but come on now, we're almost 20 years later, and Fetch is still used in that same context. So I think it happened. And
is it more? Are we just referencing it though? Like, are we just referencing Fetch, or did it actually happen? Because we talk like, did Fetch really catch on, or are we just like saying like we're trying to make it happen? Everybody's always
there, though.
It is.
No one's not saying it at all.
That's
is it
true.
used in the way that it was intended? No, but Fetch is in the lexicon, so it happened.
Okay. It's in Urban Dictionary. I actually take that back. I hope it isn't. For whatever reason, it would be in Urban Dictionary. I should also mention, because they allow me to broadcast on all of their channels, whether they like it or not. Thank you for joining us on Crier Media, the biggest podcast network in Canada, in case you're wondering. You can also tag along if you're on Facebook or YouTube. By all means, comment along. Say hi to Jordan. You don't have to say hi to me. You can say hi to him. We can talk about some Canucks things. So, like I was saying, in the Lona this week, on Monday, there was a bomb. I was on my way, actually, to Wendy's to grab a quick bite before I was on my way to a job. The whole parking lot's closed off. Cop cars everywhere. Highways closed off from one intersection to the next. I'm thinking, okay. I mean, if this happens from time to time, I'm thinking police incident. Maybe there's an act of some kind of a threat. Maybe there's a guy that's bombarded himself in a rest. I don't know. I don't know how criminals think. And I would later find out about an hour later that there was a bomb threat or a bomb. And I mean, I'm going to use the full word for a second. Kelowna. We're a small town. I mean, we're small potatoes. We're a big, small city. So I mean, it's not something that we would take seriously, like, oh, sure, bomb threat. We've seen this before. And then we find out, I'm going on the Twitters, getting my wife to check it out on the computer at work. Apparently the bomb squad from Vancouver is coming. Okay, that's real. They felt that this was a potential threat. By the end of the day, it was actually a pipe bomb. And they disposed of a sophisticated, as they say in the news, it was a sophisticated pipe bomb. And the policemen blew it up. And
are you telling me
that's a Monday? That's a Monday.
Are you telling me some asshole tried to blow up the sacred ground of a Wendy's?
I know, and we've already gone over. Like, you heard the story about how our guy switched from Arby's and then back to Wendy's again. I don't think I could handle that.
Like, blow up a Burger King. Nobody's inside of it. Let's make sure no one dies.
Yeah.
No one dies, fine. But yeah, blow up a Burger King. That's fine. But
you're right.
Wendy's
no one
is
would
hallowed ground. How dare you? What a villain.
Yeah. So it was a big deal, which is actually kind of interesting. And this is a segue. I've been watching enough TV shows on how to do these things. City Council and the city of Kelowna are introducing some new crime fighting initiatives. Now, I didn't bother to click on the link to find out what these exactly are, and I thought, you know what? I got a friend here with me, and I thought, like, what 3 things? They said there's 3 crime fighting initiatives, and I thought, well, that is right up my alley of guessing. I mean, they didn't take my idea for Snogo Pogo for the snowplow, which didn't even make the top 10. So clearly my ideas aren't going to stick with the city. Jordan, here was a few of my ideas. I don't know what you would do if you could come up with 3 crime fighting initiatives. My first one was Ninja Turtles. I just felt like if we were able to lure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to our city to fight crime, I think that would freak out a few of the criminals that are in town, and it would be awesome to see. I think pizza sales also would go up. So, I mean, Domino's
stimulates the local economy. So it's good.
Yeah, so it's kind of a win-win. That was my first one. My second one was, I mean, this felt like a home run, a Batman. Just get a Batman. Now, we have a Batman in town. He does insulation, and he does dress up around the summertime and hands out cards. He comes to birthday parties and stuff, dressed up just like Batman, the real one.
That's the worst time to dress up as Batman. It's so hot, especially in Kelowna.
Yeah.
Oh, that suit must smell. That's what stops criminals from doing their crime. It's like, yeah, man, fine. Just don't come anywhere near me. You smell disgusting.
It's funny because he wants to fight crime, but it's almost like the stench of summer and melting rubber. It's gross. A little sweaty. And my third one was Killer Bees. Now, not real ones, like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, okay.
They're touring, I think, through BC this summer or this spring.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm sure they've got some time.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. You're, thinking about doing some graffiti or whatever your crime is in Kelowna. Congrats on getting crime, by the way. That's
we have, man, crime's doing well.
And, you want to do some tagging or some graffiti and, Raekwon and Inspector Deck come up to you and say, hey, you knocked that off now. Like, oh, sorry, Wu-Tang Clan. I'll stop. Yeah. I think that's very effective. I think that's more effective than a stanky Batman.
Yeah. The RZA, the Gizza, and Ghostface Killer. I don't know. Inspector Deck, maybe he's available.
Yeah.
I know they've had some issues with people hanging around in that group, but I don't know. Like, what would you do? Like, if you could bring like a crime fighting initiative to, I mean, we're going to get to hockey. Don't worry, folks. We'll be fine. This is fun right now. We're just spitballing. What would you do? Like, because you're around crime in Surrey. I was around there when the Surrey 6 happened. Big deal.
Oh shit. Okay.
Big deal. I mean, I was around, like, I was living it. I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, was it originally the Surrey 7, Ryan? Where were you?
Full disclosure. Oh, how do I get out of this? Full disclosure.
I think it's very. I think some effective marketing and signage is the primary thing I would do in Kelowna. I would use
like
the Vice colorway, which you've adopted for the show here. It's very eye-catching. Yeah. And I just put up some Vice colorway signs where there is crime happening. And it says, hey,
please don't.
You knock that off.
Could you do like a maybe please don't crime?
Please don't crime also works. If you want it, depending on where the crime is happening, because some people respond better to manners than others. But either like, hey, you knock that off, or please don't crime. Because if I was going to crime and I looked over and out of the corner of my eye saw a Vice colorway and there was a nice sign that told me not to crime, and also had a lot of manners around it, I'd rethink some of my decision making. And I'm like, you know what, sign? I won't crime.
You start thinking about your parents and how they raised you. You're like, no one's actually just told me not to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, that works for me. Like, I was raised right. So if I saw like, I was gonna crime. I was. But they were very kind about it.
And for some people, being told don't crime is one thing, but also other people just being asked, like, hey, can you not crime? All right, yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna I appreciate that you asked and you weren't telling me not to crime. So because of that, I'm not going to. So I think that's really it. I mean, stanky Batmans, Ninja Turtles, the Wu-Tang Clan, all great ideas. But I think just some very direct, eye-catching signage on a politeness scale which changes based on where the crime is happening. I think that's a winner.
Could you imagine seeing that in like any superhero or any comic book or movie, and you just see it's like, don't crime. Wow. I don't think anyone's ever approached it that way.
No
It would
one's
be,
no
I
one's
think that'd
taken
be the
that
kind of
tack, I
thing
think.
like, did you guys see the new Batman? And they had the like right in Gotham. Please don't crime.
So
Bold.
there I was in this alleyway outside the opera, and
Yeah.
this little kid and his rich ass parents come up, and I tell you, I was gonna crime so hard. But then I saw a sign in that alleyway telling me, asking me not to crime, and I let them go on about their business, and I let them have a good night.
And I backed up.
And then Bruce Wayne just grew up to be a prick because it's kind of like a Kurt Cobain eventually would have sold out type thing.
Right.
Bruce Wayne, I think, eventually would have been an insufferable asshole and a real prick if not for everything that happened. He's a fictional
Kinda
character,
was.
so I could
He kinda
talk about his
was
parents.
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Or
has
like,
moments.
the guy backs up and he slips in a puddle and accidentally, when the gun falls on the ground, and then double shot. I mean, that's a pretty impressive
Oh,
gun.
it's
And
like
it
a
happens
fixed point
anyway.
in time. It's like a fixed point in time. No matter
Yeah.
what, Bruce Wayne's parents were to die in that alley.
So then he's all about gun control for the rest of his life.
That's right. I
Huh.
like it.
I don't know if that catches on. I don't know if that's going to be a box office hit, but I mean, I'm willing to screenplay
You
that.
know what? Then it's an underground art house hit. It's a hit no matter what. So yeah, sure. Maybe it doesn't bring in tons of money, but like the
indie
auteurs,
Batman.
the film nerds, they're waiting for the Criterion Collection edition of that Batman movie.
You guys
Throw
have the
Wes Anderson in
Laserdisc
as a
of
director.
indie
Let's do it.
Batman.
Yeah. Paul
Get the
Thomas
Laser-
Anderson directs. That's how we go.
This is great. I like where we're going with this, but I did tease that we're going to talk about Canucks. I feel that's fair.
No.
I know that's the other team you cheer for, but
No.
yeah, we're gonna get there. Are you gonna be okay with this?
Must we?
Yeah, okay. Because that's what
Why-
most people assume I talk about when I'm here with Ted. Now you're in here. You technically could just rebel and go like all in on Detroit. I hear Dylan Larkin just signed a nice little piece of business.
Yes.
8 years.
Yes, and it's
8
I don't know
points,
if you
something.
see from my shirt,
There you go.
but it's Hockey Town, apparently.
Mm.
Wouldn't it be nice to live in Hockey Town as
I
opposed
felt
to
like-
terrible Decisionville that we all live in?
I hate it here. It sucks. It really, really sucks.
See, it's funny. That's a joke tweet people put out all the time, like, "Oh, I hate it here. I hate it here." That was my initial first reaction. Very busy day at work, like every single day is, and I just had a little bit of time to myself, and I'm like, let's see what's going on Twitter. And I open it up and I see people freaking out, and I'm like, oh, what are they freaking out about? Didn't take me long to scroll and see the screenshot. And initial first reaction, hate it here.
Yes, stupid. Why'd you make us live here? I don't like it.
know,
I don't
I
like
feel-
it here.
I feel bad for the fella, this poor guy coming in, and he's a good hockey player, and everyone just like hates him contextually based on what he represents now. So
and his name
really
is spelled
hope,
with an F, not a PH, which is
I really hope that he's a well-seasoned pro athlete and doesn't take any of this stuff personally or seriously, because if I had been traded, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to Vancouver. I wonder what people are saying about me there. And just vitriol.
JT Miller's guest house. I hope he stays in, because that's about the only thing that'll make sense until maybe tomorrow. By the time this, I mean, the way the last 3 days have gone, do not be surprised if by the time this podcast, we're on the live stream right now, so it's a little different. But when the podcast comes out, for all you know, like this is already outdated. You guys have that issue on your show. Maybe it carries over. Like this has been the craziest week. Trade deadline. I was thinking like, man, it's going to probably suck this Friday. And then I thought, no, there's too many trades to make this year. I think everybody, like there's teams that are going for it, obviously. And then there's like a crazy amount, like some guys are absolutely going crazy. Well, let's bring in all these guys and make our run. And then there's like a ton of other teams that aren't even going to be in the Bedard sweepstakes. Oh, we're going to do some stuff too. And then there's the bottom dwellers like, well, we got to get rid of some stuff. And like everybody's doing something right now, which is wild. Like I don't remember a trade deadline or a lead up to a trade deadline that has just been, I mean, it's chaotic from Monday to Friday right now. Like, all right, well, tomorrow we got to fit in like 6 trades before 2:00. Like, well, when's the deadline? 3 days from now. Why do we have to fit them all in today? Like, I got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy. So we all saw Phil Peronic for a first and a second. Neat.
Now that first,
The conditional first. Yeah, that was the first thing.
Where'd that come from?
Bo Horvat actually was the
Oh.
originator of that
Okay.
draft pick. So it just is Ronick. Is it Horonic or how do we say Ronick? Like
What?
Milos? Is it Milos? Ronic?
I would be
I don't know.
actually a lot maybe better with that deal. Yeah, it's not about the guy himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Good player, absolutely. Great cap hit. Great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome. This is great, but
Neat.
for the Canucks, what a terrible decision. And again, benefit of hindsight will probably bite us in the butt a couple days from now because maybe this is all part of some grand scheme. But we all bought it and believed for about 3 weeks that they had finally realized,
exactly.
no, you got to take the hit to make the play. Sometimes you got to take that prickle to get to those good berries.
Prickle to get the tickle.
Yeah. And this is what we're gonna do now. We've heard you, we listened to you. Not that anybody ever listened to the Fans of the City, that's fine.
No.
And this is what we're doing. I'm like, okay, it sucks to see Bo Horvat leave, but you know what? All right, they're finally they get it. They see what we've seen for the last however many years. Okay, cool, right on. And then this happens. You can argue a win now move happens.
Then they do the Riley Stillman move. And you're thinking, okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
You're correcting some mistakes.
Okay.
All right.
And the rumblings start. Oh, JT Miller, they're possibly going to try and deal him and get us out of that contract, which is going to ruin this franchise for.
And Brock Besser's a sweetener. Okay.
Okay.
You know what? I just went and bought a ton of Kool-Aid. Let's drink this for sure.
And then this happens.
Makes no sense.
No. And universally, everybody, with the exception of people who are desperate to be smart hockey people, actually, this is a good deal. Like, no, okay, you just stop it. You stop it right now, because you are one of 8 dudes or ladies out there saying this is good. Just to be, it has to just be contrarian. But everybody else, universally, whether it's your show, our show, you don't have a show, any fans or anybody with a voice, at least on Twitter stuff, is baffling. And if I'm not mistaken, I didn't go too deep into it, but I feel like I saw some chatter that like league wide, a lot of other fan bases, and he was like, what the hell are you doing?
Even Islanders fans, I saw one tweet, like, so this guy goes, so I'm an Islander fan. He goes, and that's what you're doing with the pick? Like, I think the one crazy thing that maybe it's not getting enough publicity, and this all is, but like, let's just break it down for a second. A first round draft, I don't care, conditional, it's either this year or next year, regardless. You're saying a first round draft pick. When you think of a first round draft pick this season, what are you thinking? Like, what players are moving? If you hear a first round, like, I thought Patrick Kane.
Studs, because it's a deep ass draft.
So, like, a first round pick, you're like, okay, something clearly of value is coming. Now I don't follow the East a lot, so this is I'm not one of those guys. I'm not a deep NHL guy. The last couple of years have kind of taken a backseat of pretty much Canucks and who's coming to town, and I've been honest about that. So I really didn't know who the guy was. I'm thinking, okay, little naivety here. I get it. And I get he's a good player and it's going to probably be a decent player for the team. But I thought, okay, should it not be, and I mean, this is totally a stupid thing to say, should it not be someone that we all know for a first round pick? Like, shouldn't that be, especially if you're going to add a second? Like, my goodness, everyone knows
a marquee guy.
Somebody, like, at least like not even doesn't have to be like the head marquee guy, but like, opening for the Wu-Tang Clan is like, I don't know.
Are you thinking maybe not a Crosby, but a Malkin?
Yeah, it's still somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking, like, it doesn't. It's such a head scratcher. You almost forget, like, if you dial it back and go back to the actual trade, and like, wait. So it's a first round pick either this year or next year. All right. And a second round pick. All right. We had those. Those are two of the best picks you can have. And yesterday we had lots of picks, and we're like, wow, they've got 7 draft picks. They haven't had 7 draft picks since, what did it say, 2010 or 2009. This is all right. I mean, I'm ready for this. We're ready to see things fall apart and rebuild. And then they go after this, and we're like, oh, it's a retool. Everyone already knows the name. Everyone already knows what's going on. Rebuild now doesn't exist anymore. We're back to the retool. Here we go again.
On the fly, baby.
Oh, it just hurts.
Here's where I've landed on this. This is where I'm at this very moment in time. I hate to date the show, but 9:46 p.m. on Wednesday.
I was going to say it, but I'm thankful you did.
Here's where I'm at. You know what? This has to be part of something bigger. I'm just clinging to a little tiny shred of hole up, let them cook. Maybe this is so crazy that perhaps there's something else at play here. What if they flip this guy?
But they just introduced his jersey number as number 17.
It's a smoke screen, Ryan. That's how you trick people. You roll out the jersey number.
Do you know what PR is, Rye? Do you?
Yeah.
Have you seen marketing?
It's a big grift. I think this is all just a long con, and he's going to be part of some package, and we're getting 5 first-round picks in 2023. Let's go.
And Beauvillier. So the long game is like, oh, we already forgot about Beauvillier. No, he's back. Better than ever. He's back and better than ever. You know what's funny, too? And before today, like I had a bunch of stuff I was ready to rock today, just tipped it over the top. There has been some like bombshell trades in the last few days here.
There have been,
the Patrick Kane one. There was, you
mean all the trades that are getting fenced through Arizona?
There's a Jacob Chikrin. So, like, it's funny because there's some absolute killers out there, and you think it's like this 5-course meal, $1,000 a plate. It's a big business. Like, wow, like you really got to be high up to be part of this. And you're thinking, okay, like, wow, trades this year are nuts. Like, there is value going back and forth. And then as soon as you're done your meal, like, oh, by the way, we're also handing out Groupons of $25 for a year of Taco Bell. We're at like a 5-star course dinner. Like, oh, but it's a year of Taco Bell for $25. Well, that is a pretty good deal as well. That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
So, like, we're seeing everything this year. We're seeing the absolute creme de la creme. And then we're just seeing like, how many trades can we get in? Is there a record today on the day, March the 1st? Could we set a record and do we get a cool certificate? It's messed.
See, I'm an NBA fan, so I love like NBA trade deadline usually is pretty crazy. And then there's that sub period afterwards where players are just dealt to teams just who have no interest in them, and they just have the ability to buy out those contracts. And then there's like an in-season free agency period where all these players have been traded and then immediately bought out and are free to basically go wherever. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
And when this year's NBA trade deadline was insane, obviously with Kevin Durant and other moves being made across the league there, everyone's like, oh, NBA one's so good. NHL one sucks. It's a couple of weeks. It's going to be so boring. And no, there's been some fireworks so far. And I still feel like over the next couple of days, there could be some crazy stuff happening. Vancouver's not done. I think that's something that everybody can agree on, is that they're not finished here. That's why, again, I'm just clinging to that little bit of hope that this is all part of some larger grand plan and scheme. There is nothing I've seen in the last decade that would, give any credence to that at all. But I need something. Ryan.
There's no precedence whatsoever. And I will spell that out just to prove a point.
None.
Oh. It's we're a little confused out in the Lona as well. There's just so much insane chaos that I mean, if you were right, I guess the next question, and we probably asked this last week to each other, but what would salvage a day like today if you're a Canucks fan? How does that get salvaged? Let's say, even though he's injured, let's say they do trade JT Miller. or they trade Miller and Besser, or they just trade Besser. And for value, let's say there's multiple picks coming back of some degree, like let's say Besser for a second, or I mean, a JT Miller move would likely involve some stuff. Like, what salvages it for you?
I'm back there to just thinking about it and the style of move that this is. And I don't know if it can be really. Like, I think Miller moved, no money retained or anything. Maybe Besser moved, no money retained, and a sizable amount of picks, gaining more than we lost.
What if
Would be
Myers?
helpful.
What if they move those two and Myers?
Ooh,
I'm not going to say
okay.
OEL because I think that would be an out of season move.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be good. I think that'd be all right.
Then we're gonna shut her down for a bit and just be okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating to watch the Canucks win because
That's such a weird thing to say. Man, damn it, Kuzmenko. Why
I
do you have to
know.
do so much fun? Why do you have to score goals that we all jump off our couches for? And
Nobody gets what they want here. It's like, okay, because that's the thing. It's like, hey, if you're gonna be bad, be spectacularly bad.
Yeah.
Be awful. Cleveland
7-1
Indians at Major League, like, be really bad. Oh yeah, like five plus goals every game. Put 5 on it. I love it. Keep that going. The historically worst penalty kill ever. Give it to me. Be special. Either in a great way, you're winning President's trophies, you're contending for a cup, or be special in the other way. When we look back 5-10 years from now, I'll go, whoo, 2022, 2023. Remember that? Woof.
Like Tin Cup.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna remember the guy that shot 5 over. What they're gonna remember is the guy that shot a plus 18 and went through every ball in his bag.
Absolutely.
Do it, Roy.
This team finishing in like the low 20s, and I mean like low 20s as in like numerically, like 23, 24. That's disgusting to me. That is offensive and
not
that is gross. Yeah. So the fact that this could be another like middling or low end of a middling season, it really seemed like it was going to happen, and everyone's getting excited. Oh, they're 7 points from the floor. Like, let's get shitty. Like, let's get bad. And, a move like this and just the whole outlook at Kuzmenko.
Jim, look who's on the phone. Look who's on the phone. Detroit's on the phone. You better answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, I made the deal without asking, though. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just it's tough, and
don't know how to do this.
The mental gymnastics to make this make sense is just, and I don't know if I've seen such a universally like despised move by the Canucks in the last 2 weeks than this one.
Like, so yesterday Luke Schenn like, I get a text from my wife. I'm driving on my way home, pick her up, drop her off at the eye doctor, and I get a text. Luke Schenn went to the Leafs. I'm like, I don't even know for what, but I'm assuming it's decent. Yeah. So then I get back. I'm like, third. I was hoping for the second. We all had our hopes that it would be a second. I thought, nope, a third still a lot of value for a guy that makes pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
And brings it, like, he's going to bring value to Toronto. Maybe they make a run this year. But I thought, a third round pick, okay. You know what? Vancouver, you did your job. The Riley Stillman thing, okay, you did your job. Bo Horvat thing. You're doing it in a way that maybe isn't the most fun for all of us, but we get where you're going here. So I'm thinking, all right, they're starting to mark off the pieces. So obviously, and then, the rumors of Besser and Miller, and like, okay,
all
right, let's just wait. Let me get home and enjoy this. And then, no, haven't heard anything in an hour. Like, they're literally updating by the hour. I have not heard anything. It's 3:21 p.m. Like, they're getting specific. Like, okay, stuff's going on here. And then, yeah, today happens. You're thinking, okay, everything that happened yesterday, we need to forget. We need to be mad again. It makes no sense. Now, what else makes no sense? And I've seen some other things. Jonathan Quick goes to Columbus. Which Like at the beginning, if we were at the beginning of the season, if this was August or September, okay, all right, they're going in, they're putting all their pieces together. I guess Columbus is going to be a force to deal with. Not today.
No.
Not today. And Kings fans are pissed. And they won. They won in overtime last night in Winnipeg. And he had to fly back with them. Already had been traded on the team plane. That would have been an awful, awful plane ride. Because likely your GM's with you. He's likely, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe that was a smart move.
I don't think he was. I think I read that he wasn't. He wasn't going to be on the flight.
Could you imagine? Like, just you could cut the tension with a knife in there. And I mean, it's Jonathan Quick. That guy's he can go a little psycho mode sometimes too. So now he's going to Columbus. I do hear that was it Vegas that's trying to make that move.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing though. That's where a lot of people went there. Like, it's an awkward plane ride. It's just terrible and stuff. But let me posit this to you. What if he just blew it out? What if he's like, you know what, guys? This is my last plane ride with all you as teammates. GM's not here. Let's get after it tonight. We just left Winnipeg. Nothing better than leaving Winnipeg. Let's go. Let's go hard tonight. This is our last ride.
I know there's not a drug test for a week. Let's get at it.
Yeah, I'm thinking multiple Stone Cold Steve Austins in the aisleway, just going absolutely crazy with it.
I mean, they've won some cups. I mean, Kopitar. Who else is left from that team? Yeah. From the last one, like not too many guys. So they could still have some fun. I mean, you're flying on private jets. You're probably having fun already, but that'd probably be a decent one to be on the way back, especially after a win. I mean, they did still win.
It's the last day of summer camp. Guys, you know what? Like, let's make tonight count. Let's make it a night to remember. And then they're listening to Night to Remember on a loop. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You know what? We've been saving it for a special occasion. Let's get out the Bryan Adams CD. That's right, CD. We go old school on this King's private jet.
I've been listening to CDs this week, actually. Matthew Goodband audio being. It's skipping a ton right now.
I saw you reference Symbolistic White Walls, and I'm like, oh, that's one of my absolute favorites. What a jam that is.
He looked, I forgot what he looked like in the late 90s. Wow.
Grungy.
Just very different dude. Very different dude. Now he's like us. I mean, me. I don't want
poor bastard.
Yeah. I mean, he's done okay.
Yeah.
How did life go? Well, he's got to sing for a living. Okay. That's pretty
Beautiful
cool.
Midnight was pretty good.
Yeah, it's getting by. It's getting by. Living in Vancouver. Yeah, I mean, maybe they bust out All for One and like Rod Stewart and Sting just like, how did you guys get on the plane? We pulled some strings. It is Los Angeles after all. Like, but we're in Winnipeg. We took a jet over here.
Yo, quick, do you want the Bryan Adams solo stuff or all the stuff he did with special guests? We've got some Bryan Adams Melody C. We've got the Three Musketeers thing, little Tina Turner.
What do you
Bryan
want?
Adams solo. Yeah,
what do you want?
Bryan Adams solo. Would you say that this trade cuts like a knife? And did they go into that and they're drinking and partying?
I'm American and I love this moment right now.
Yeah.
That's what teammates do. That's what teammates do.
The company I work for is American, so I'm trying to reintroduce or introduce them all to, your Bryan Adamses, your Snows, your McMaster and Jameses, your Sloans. You was like, oh yeah, get a bit of this and that. Oh yeah, that one Bare Naked Lady song. No. These people need to know who Chocolare is. They need to know who Chocolare is. Their lives are not as good as they could be.
So if they've got sports, are they're sportsy people? They're hockey people as well?
No, actually.
Oh.
Well, there was one fella who was like a hockey person, and like actually him and I went to a Red Wings preseason game. That's where I got this stuff.
This swag.
Dude, this whole package was like $25 US for the hat, and this is actually quite a nice little thing here. And I wasn't going to commit and buy a jersey because I'm not dropping X amount US on a team that I don't really like care about. But like $25 to gear up and enjoy the game, yeah,
Sure.
no
I'm at
brainer.
it.
Yeah, so but he doesn't work for the company anymore, so nobody else is really like they're football folks. They're not hockey people at all. So
Okay.
big
So
Lions.
you didn't want to
Im-
do like a joy drop reference at all.
No, oh
'Cause they may not get that. Like
yeah,
she works in the America now, so
yes, and sometimes
joy
want to
drop.
die.
You know, sometimes.
That's a
Yeah,
good. That's a good
watching
song.
this team implode. Yeah, sometimes I want to die too.
You guys didn't get Chantel Kreviazuk down here? Are you kidding me?
He's like, actually, we did.
Yeah.
We did. Wayne is my favorite song. Oh, no
I've
kidding.
been introducing them to our Canadian snacks every time I go down there.
It's the
I'm
best.
always loading up stuff. I actually had at like a work retreat back in October. I had a satchel full of mini coffee crisps because they don't have coffee crisp down there that I was just throwing out like I was making it rain at a strip club, and that was a popular figure.
It's
Yeah, that and ketchup chips are another big one. They don't have them. They don't have the all dressed either.
it's
So
funny though. Like I think for the same reasons that they get excited about our snacks, we get excited about their snacks.
100%.
Like Mr. Goodbar. I mean, that's just one thing. That's the first thing because of the colors. I remember. They just have so many awesome snacks in the States where you're like, oh, well, we don't get that stupid flavor down or up in Canada. Like, no one's crazy enough to introduce, like, like Mexican 8 alarm chili Doritos served in, like, hot sauce.
The
Okay.
American Pop-Tart game is ridiculous. They have so many good Pop-Tart flavors there that we've never even whiffed at here. It's ridiculous. And also, I was in some Podunk gas station corner store in the middle of northern Michigan, literally just flat ass land in many different areas. It's kind of like what you feel like you're kind of around maybe in some of the valleys around here. Not a lot happening, and this one place happened to have salted caramel Twix bars.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't see them anywhere else on my trip except for this random mass gas station in the middle of nowhere. Salted caramel Twix. I
He's a
bought it,
lone
and let me
buyer.
tell you, it was delicious.
He's a lone buyer. Like,
He's back
what do
there
you guys
making
not?
them.
What do you exactly at the factory? Oh, someone ordered these again. Like, we have to make these every time an order comes through. We have to make them. We have to. They put in the order. We can't just say no. We're
Yeah.
Twix. Maybe the left factory's like, we'll make them. Right factory's like, we're just gonna keep doing our thing.
I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, I got salted caramel Twix down here. She's like, oh, that's gonna be great. I can't wait to try that. And I'm like, yeah. I didn't say it, but I messaged you after I already ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'll find another one, no
Fun
problem. And
fact.
I didn't. I checked so many places, none. So they got
Ask forgiveness, not permission.
Mutual snack appreciation between us and
It is.
And the Americans.
That's a beautiful thing. It really is. Now, I remember when I was a younger lad in my early 20s, and we used to go down because we were living in Lower Mainland for about 7 years, and we do the Seattle trip or Bell's Fair trip or whatever.
Fair, of course.
And I remember coming back from a Mariners game one time with my wife and I and friends of ours, and we stopped at like an AM PM, filled up with gas on our way back. We're heading back into Surrey there, and I go and I see they have like the triple size monster drinks. Not your double shot. Like I looked, this thing was just like a grail of energy. I'm like, okay, I can handle this. I'm in my early 20s. I'm invincible. So I proceed to like drink this thing. The rest of the way, we were living in Guildford, so it actually wasn't that far. So I end up chugging this thing within the next like 40 minutes. Get home, lights are out still when we get back in the condo. Had to clearly take a leak because I just chugged like a triple energy drink, which is probably not safe in any world that we live in. In the multiverse, maybe there's one world.
Yeah, you're lucky if that goes straight through you. You don't want that in your body for
so
long
I
at
go,
all.
lights are out, taking a leak there. Neon yellow, like it glowed like it was radioactive from The Simpsons. I looked at my wife and I laughed. I said, I don't think I'm supposed to drink these anymore. I feel that I've entered a dangerous zone. And it's one of those where you just have a self-realization and you're like, I did something I shouldn't have done. And I've instantly learned nothing hurts, nothing feels weird, but I don't think it's supposed to glow to the point where you can immediately think about The Simpsons because it
Yeah.
looks radioactive. Like, okay, we went down a path that is probably dangerous for the body, and I'm thinking if that's what it looks like, what's going on inside my body? Like, am I like that close to a heart attack? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing really brings about periods of like self-examination and growth like neon piss. Those are
It
moments where
really,
you really need to take a step back and go, should I
yeah.
go back to school? Like what learn
What
do I
road
learn a
did I take?
trade? What
Yeah.
I gotta get it together. I gotta make some changes.
Yeah, we're selling everything. We're gonna go live off the land somewhere. Like, how did you come to this? Funny story. Um, Monster Energy drink. Go figure.
Neon piss.
Yeah, it's like you too. Absolutely. Welcome to the club. Welcome to
Yeah.
the club. Jonathan Quick. I was going to reference Thatcher Demko. Do you still think Thatcher Demko is going to go?
Nope.
Are we past? I think this trade today pretty much seals the deal that people of substance, mainly a goaltender, they need something. And
Yeah.
I think Quinn, Petey, Kuzmenko, and I think it's going to be Thatcher Demko.
Yep.
Everything else, I think.
Which honestly, which I'm fine with. I've always, liked Thatcher Demko, even though I hold him responsible for the worst thing that happened to the franchise in the last 15 years, and that's the bubble run of the playoffs.
False hope.
That convinced the wrong people. They are this close to contending for the Stanley Cup, and that set I'm not going to say it wasn't fun. Had a great time watching significant Canucks playoff hockey again
In August.
And that run. Oh, in the summertime, I
was the
remember
best.
watching Game 1 of the Minnesota series at a friggin' lake, like overlooking a lake. It was lovely.
Yes, me too.
It was great. And you know what? After as tough as things have been, and with COVID and everything, that was just, hey, you know what? We all needed this. This is fun times.
We did.
But hindsighting it now and looking at what that actually meant for the long-term success of the franchise, ooh,
disruption in the force.
yeah, nope.
Big
That's
time.
there's your fixed point in time that really, really set us on a bad course that we're still on. So no, I don't see Demko going, which I'm totally fine with. They got to find a way. They shouldn't have even done it in the first place. They got to find a way to get out of that JT Miller contract.
There's so many of these things that have happened in the last, I don't know, 5 years, and everyone said don't do it as the fan base, and it's been said time and time again. It's a pretty educated. I'm not saying smart, but it's an educated fan base. We have been fortunate enough to have a lot of great minds in the Vancouver hockey market that have been able, like, we get a Harm, we get, Chris Faber, we get Quadrelli, we've got Patrick, we've got, Jason Botchford, we've had J-Pat. They're, a Farhan. There's been so many guys that have been involved in getting out the news and bringing out statistics and giving us information that I'm sure a lot of markets don't have. We get to see things, and like this market is too real sometimes, I find. And I include the Lona here. Sometimes it is too real, and I think that's kind of a Debbie Downer kind of thing, or Daryl Downer, if we're being equal. But at the same time, like, there's fact there. Don't sign JT Miller. The stats don't look good. Really, don't lock up Bo. Stats don't look good. There's don't bridge deal Petey. That's not going to work out in your favor. You should have a long-term deal for Quinn. That was the one thing they were able to make work. There's all these things. Don't sign Gabranson. Don't re-sign Gabranson. Don't trade. Don't do this. Don't do that. Oh, we're going to do this. There's so many of these things, and we all see them in real time every day, and then they still happen. They actually happen, and we just sit here and we think, like the wait a sec guy, it would, rest in peace, Jason Botchford. But you can go back to that wait a sec guy, and no one is saying, hey, let's take a step back for a second and think about this rationally.
Everybody knew the Tyler Myers deal was coming. for
Yes.
days.
Yeah,
We
for
knew
a
that it was
year.
coming. We knew, longer than that. I'll get to the longer term one, but like we knew it was coming. We knew it would in the neighborhood of what it would cost as far as money and term, and that was a big mistake. But we had to. You ever see Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
That's a movie about World War II
Yes.
from 1998. I know it's no Shakespeare in Love. It didn't happen to
Wait.
win Best Picture over
World War II didn't happen in 1988. Oh, the movie is from
Shakespeare in Love is the movie you probably remember from 98 because it was the best picture of the year. But there was this other movie, Saving Private Ryan, not as good, but I guess some people like it, whatever. We have to fight for that knife and then see that knife slowly turn towards us and then get pushed into our chests. One of the most harrowing scenes in movie history. That thing stays with you. But we had to watch it happen. And then the OEL thing.
Oh, right.
We knew
Oh, good. That didn't happen.
Years.
That didn't happen. Good
years. We knew that Benning had a massive hockey heart on for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And they were kicking the tires and talking with him, trying to make that happen for a long time. And then it finally, then the rumors started up again. And we're like, no, we thought we were past this. And then the knife just turns around and slowly pushes in.
But wait. I got rid of Roussel. I got rid of Erickson. And I got rid of Beagle. Yeah, you did. Those were also your moves, your mistakes. So we get a new recapture payment. Cool.
And you were about to get out from under them. We had dealt with the poorness of those deals and we're about to see the sun again. And it's like you stab something. I'm very stabby tonight. But it's like
we're balmy out here, so
yeah. It's like, okay, cool. And here's your personal effects as you're getting out of prison. Okay, great. I'm just going to turn around and punch this security guard right here. Punch this prison guard. And you go right back in. We had tasted fresh air and saw daylight from those contracts. And then, forget it. Oliver Ekman-Larsson for another cajillion years. And he's not going to be able to play up to that contract at all.
Just got to get back into prison. Like, I don't know what freedom's like. I guess I'm got to go back in. That's where I was comfortable.
I kind of wish I just like stayed off of Twitter and didn't follow any of this, so I didn't see it coming in the same way.
Then it's not real. Then it's not real.
Because like I couldn't be any farther from an insider if I tried. But like everybody, I read this stuff on Twitter, all the people reporting it. So that's where I see the knife start to turn around and head back our way. So would life be easier if I just saw on, I don't know, The Score or NHL.com that this happened? I'm like, well, that's awful. And I'm surprised about how awful it is, but I haven't had weeks, months, years to prepare myself for how shit it's going to be and then have it just happen anyway.
It's like finding out about like the mega thrust, right? About the big earthquake that eventually is come. Like, oh, did you see this little rumbling down in Oregon, or did you see this? Like, Juan de Fuca is starting to move. Like, oh, well, we're getting real-time information on all this instead of just like, boom, it all happens. Like, wow, that was pretty brutal. Good thing we moved.
Yep.
I mean, in real life, that's probably a good thing if we had precursors, because then we could save a lot of people. But, I was trying to make a reference that worked, and maybe that didn't work so well. I'm sorry.
It's like darts fans don't go through this. Maybe we just all start covering darts a lot more seriously.
180.
That's exciting. That's
good
great.
enough for me.
Yeah.
Good enough. We get to make signs. Nice. I love the signs. They're never really offensive, though. Not like wrestling ones,
Yeah. Darts fans are out there living their best lives, having a great time. Darts fans don't get hurt. So
thankfully,
maybe we just all start following darts a lot more. Get a Vancouver Darts League going.
It'd be cool. I was just making that wrestling joke reference. How awesome would it be? I mean, it'd probably be sucky and you wouldn't be paying as much to go to a hockey game. But like if you had all the signs like at wrestling. Like
oh my gosh.
Could you imagine like the whole lower bowl is just signs like up next, my dog Skip, or like all these random signs are like Miller 316 or all these. Could you imagine for like one game, like
odd job and GoldenEye, you were a bitch. It's like, well, It's very accurate. It's not topical for the game, but
Yeah.
for its accuracy, 10 on 10. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something for like a couple of games? Like they gave us they gave us what we asked for, and it's awful.
And you know what? That's something fun for a last place team to try and do. Hey, you know what? We got a lot of games, home games remaining in the season. I know we're an absolute dumpster fire at the bottom of the league and we're terrible. Let's just have some fun with it. What do you say?
We're going autopilot to the end of this season. Do whatever you want.
Bring out your sides. Every night is Star Wars night. Or all they do like Star Wars. Okay, so it's Phantom Menace night.
Yeah.
Okay, our next game is going to be Attack of the Clones night. Then we're going to work our way through the Harry Potters. It's Half-Blood Prince
Throw
night.
your slammers in the intermission.
You said Pog night? Yes.
Yeah.
Not just 90s night, but let's it's slap bracelet night. It's
okay. We got to draw a line there. You can't have slap. We're dealing with metal at that point.
What was the thing where it's like a skipping rope, but it was just you? I think it was like, was it Skip
It? Or no, Skip It.
It was like it was attached to your ankle. And you just kind of did a circle. Oh yeah, little devil sticks. I actually was going through some stuff recently, clearing through some old things, not going through some emotional things.
I was going to say you're gonna have maybe you were.
And very easily one could turn into the other real quick.
You could.
And I found my old hacky sack, and so let's see if the old guy still got it. I don't.
ACL.
No, I could not hacky or sack anymore. It was a shameful display. I don't think I got more than like 3. And I think even then it took me like 30 minutes to like get 3 hits. And I'm like, this used to be what I was all about.
Groin and ACL. Go figure.
Yep.
That's what growing, that song Blink-182, I guess this is growing up. That's what they meant.
What, you're diminishing hacky sack skills?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I
remember my first time playing Bop It. Oh, geez.
I loved Bop It. Bop It was my favorite. That was actually a big hit at like some house parties and stuff like back in the day. People getting like way, way too far gone and seeing how far they can go with bopping, twisting, and pulling it. And there was always that one person who just smoked himself into like this fugue state. And it was just them, the Bop It, and just darkness all around. And that thing just kept going super fast. And it was incredible.
It's like Rain Man.
Was me.
It was me. This is where I'm at now.
And someone said to me right then and there, "Hey, your life is peaking right now." And I'm like, "No. But yeah,
bills are due. Got some.
There's some problems in life that can't be bopped, twisted, or pulled away. Just saying.
I mean, I got 2 Captain America shields. What am I gonna do with both of them? I don't know. This is where I'm at. Maybe you're having like a midlife crisis. Like might be one of the weirder ones we've seen, sir. Like, do you have some pogs? I do have some pogs. We're gonna salvage this for you. We're gonna salvage this. I mean, we're getting close to the end here. You've got some stuff that you've been doing. You've been a busy guy. I always enjoy your show. Maybe just remind everybody what's going on with Jordan and all the real things you're doing.
Dual Infinity gauntlets. I also have a couple of those.
That makes sense though, because you got 2 hands.
Yeah. Well, I could put a shield in each one of these. It's all right.
You know what would have been cool? What if we're gonna get to you in a second again? But what if Thanos faced himself with the Infinity Gauntlet? There's 2 of them somehow. They canceled each other out somehow, some way.
Get a little bit of that. And What If Season 2 only on Disney Plus?
Bring up maybe somehow it like cancels out and like Iron Man comes back.
Oh,
at least these are free ideas to whoever wants to run with them.
Take them, Kevin Feige. They're yours. Been super busy, but not with anything like content wise, really. Like both Wyatt and I are absolutely just completely bamboozled by work. But with all these hockey happenings and whatnot occurring, obviously, Wyatt and I will get back together real soon for an episode of Trust the Process and do our best to try and get like a regular thing going. But like, honestly, I'm not going to get like too deep into it, but things are difficult sometimes. So,
for sure.
Hey man, we do the best.
Having heart surgery.
Yeah, we do the best with what we can, but we also got to take care of ourselves. Yeah. It's like, I need you to show me the scar on the show. Let's see
what's going on. Posting on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm like, it seems like a consistent storyline.
Yeah.
That's a pretty deep fake just to not want to do the show. Like, not that
Yeah.
many people listen.
Are you telling people or are you trying to convince people this is happening? And
yeah.
as a person, you're mainly trying to convince yourself.
Yeah,
No, I hope, yeah, everything goes great with Ted, rooting for him. So,
absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, yeah, trust the process at TTP Show Van on Twitter. We're about to turn 5.
No
Actually,
kidding. Good for you guys.
March 16th, 17th, or 18th. Who could say? In 2018, we got together at Save on Meats in downtown Vancouver. Years after, still being friends and stuff, but years I think after I stopped working for the province and covering the Canucks.
Right. Yeah.
And the Legion of Blogcast stopped. Jay Swing, absolute gem of a human being, talked to Wyatt and asked if Wyatt wanted to do this show. Nobody ever asked me anything. So, but asked Wyatt. Wyatt's like, yeah, I'll do it on one condition. I'm bringing Bowman along with me. And then, yeah, that was 5 years ago, March of 2018. So not letting that go by without any sort of retrospective or any sort of like celebration of that. Cause yeah, like it's it's tough to keep these things sort of like going. Like we're adults, we
Mhm.
have busy lives and families and heart
Mhm.
surgeries and stuff. So, things come up. So yeah,
That's awesome.
that'll be a good time. So
So, I'm sure you know who Ryan Schapp is. You know the
oh
Schapp Show.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was listening. We can maybe finish on this, and it warms my heart. I was listening to the Pucks on Net
Good show.
podcast. They don't call it Pucks on Net podcast, Pucks on Net, and they ended their show with an amazing question that they asked what Pucks on Net was about, and they got, I think, chatbot or something to do an AI, um, speak. This is a big deal now, AI apparently, which is
Yeah.
great. I'm sure Skynet's thrilled about this.
Everything's right on schedule.
Oh,
Good job,
geez.
humans.
Yeah, freaks me right out. So they asked, how did what is Pucks and Nuts? So they said, it's a Vancouver podcast based on the Canucks and other things, founded by Ryan Hank and Jason Botchford. And then I just stopped listening after that, and I thought, did I do that? Did Jason and I create something like this? And I thought, no, I did this show. And I thought maybe I sold off that show because I had something bigger and better to work on. And then Jason did all of his cool stuff. And I stopped for a second. I thought, what do I know about myself? And it was a very matrixy, inception-y kind of moment. And I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. So
I think
it's
what you need to do if you're looking to it sounds like you're looking to do some self-examination,
yeah.
and really traveling inwards. And the best way to do that is to take a neon piss, man. Nothing's gonna
toilet.
get you there like
The
that.
toilet will know. The toilet will know.
Wow. Let's take a look back. Yeah.
Yeah, the toilet will know. That's a good way to bring that back in. Jordan, thanks so much for coming by. I do appreciate it. Out of the
No problem.
bullpen. I love the fact that this podcast network of shows around the sphere, the British Columbias, we all kind of stick together and we help each other out. I do appreciate this. Obviously, Ted, I'm sure, does as well. He's been texting me for like a half hour. Maybe it's just the one text. I'm not sure. It just keeps coming up every 20 minutes. Big deal.
Is he talking about Wendy's? I bet he's talking about
He's
Wendy's.
probably doing that. Is he talking about the bomb again? That was a big deal in the Lona. Good luck to Ted. Obviously, on Friday, he's going in for his surgery he has a bicuspid aortic valve, and he will eventually have a throttle body 5000. It's going to look like drag racing heart. So that's pretty sweet. Sounds like the recovery is a lot better than the original idea of the surgery, it sounds like. So he might be ready in time for playoffs for our baseball team, which is awesome. Good luck, Ted. Love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you back in person again. I'll bring you flowers, not like you can't do it yourself, like Miley said. I do appreciate everything you've done for me and our show and family and all that stuff. Can't wait, man. Hope for the best for you. Jordan, thanks for coming by. I thank you that you are able to bring the awesomeness to this show. Sometimes we need it. I felt like I needed some yelling today, and you were up for it.
I did yell a bunch, didn't I? Well, it was
Like,
an emotional day.
A lot happened today.
Sure did.
A lot happened today. I think Ice Cube said it better. I mean, he said today was a good day. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
I was telling you, I was at my grandmother's 90th birthday.
That's right.
Today,
That's great.
And like my uncle didn't know about the trade, so I got to break it down to him. What? And then my 90-year-old grandmother was like, Jordan, you see what Canucks are doing with the trades? And I'm like, do you know about what happened today? No. Grandma, let me tell you what happened today. You know, they trade Bo Horvat. She's like, yeah. You know that first round pick they got for him? Yeah, that's gone now. What? Yeah,
for what?
She was. I'm like, I'm not gonna explain it. Oh, it was for this player. I'm like, yeah, for essentially a win now kind of guy, for an active player that's gonna make a difference on this terrible team. That doesn't make any sense. She's 90. Still with it, man. She's sharp. She knows. If you can't trick a 90-year-old lady into thinking this is a good idea,
bad.
You need to hang it up, give the reins to somebody else, because we'll see what happens in the next couple days. But thank you so much for asking me, for having me here. Ted, rooting for you, man. Good luck on Friday, and I'm sure you'll be back here in no time.
I hope so. It's gonna be tough to find guests the way things are going. So really hoping. Really hoping. It's tough to do on my own. On behalf of Jordan Bowman, I'm Ryan with a vacant spot for Ted. This is the PP1 podcast on Crier Media. Go Canucks, go! I guess whatever. Good luck on the trade deadline. We might do a fun little one at the end of all this craziness, if it's even worth doing. Maybe they're just going to blow up the entire franchise and burn down the building. I don't know.
And they got to change it to no Canucks, no.
Yeah, and maybe there won't be a building on Friday, and we're just going to start over and start cheering for, I don't know, like our local, like the
Kelowna Rockets. How are they doing? Can't win, can you?
Touchy subject. Let's leave that alone.